Hey everybody, welcome to The Dose. My name is Brian McIntosh. You know, you've heard this cliche 1,000 times, right? Winners make it happen and losers let it happen, right? And you think, oh, that sounds great, right? Like so many of those motivational quotes. Sounds awesome, but what in the heck does that really mean, right? What does it really mean that winners make things happen as opposed to let things happen? Well, I can give you a few examples, but not the least of which is, let's say, for example, you're in sales or marketing. And sometimes, the business is sometimes really booming and sometimes things just, are kind of slow or whatnot. The difference between mega achievers and everybody else, when times are slow, mega achievers are busy trying to figure out a way to generate more leads, to make more contacts, to make more calls, to do whatever it takes to get their levels back up to where they were when they were booming, right? But the average person doesn't do that. Interestingly enough, the average person would say, well, things are kind of slow. I don't really have any appointments anyway. I'll just go watch TV. Or I'll just go hang out. Or I'll just go spend time with my family. Or I'll just go do something else. In other words, we in the Navy used to call that forward leaning. When somebody was forward leaning or when they were leaning forward in the straps, what it meant was always in the process of trying to achieve more, moving forward, in forward motion. Now, I'm guilty of this, guys. I'll do this and I'll catch myself doing it and I'll go, you can't do that, see? Sometimes you'll think to yourself like, if there's a convention coming up, you think, well, I don't really have any new sales staff going with me, so I don't really need to go to that. Well, that's the wrong answer. Going to those conventions is what, keeps your fever alive, right? Of course you have to be there, right? What about trainings? You think, well, I don't really have any new folks going with me to that training, so I don't really need to go this time. Well, yeah, you do. The reason why you don't have any new folks going with you is because you're missing something. It's either a technique or an idea, or maybe it's just the renewed enthusiasm for your craft that you're missing. But in any case, that training is exactly what you need, right? How about, things like saying things like, gosh, I just don't have any appointments booked for today, so I'll just go to the beach, right? Well, I guess that maybe is okay if you're doing great and things are booming and the money's rolling in, but you know what, if it's not, just because you don't have any appointments set up doesn't mean that you should just take the rest of the day off. Maybe you should make the time now, or take the time now, to make the calls that are necessary to fill your calendar so you don't have another day with no appointments. You see, it's that type of attitude of always leaning forward and always pushing. That's the kind of attitude that achievers have. And you can develop that attitude. You can develop that perspective. And when you do, you're going to begin to see exponentially greater results. Because the old adage is true. And it hasn't changed. Successful people do daily what unsuccessful people are just simply unwilling to do. And that's the dose.